What's up?
Hey, what up, man?
Not much, man. Chilling.
How was minicamp and everything down there in the hot weather?
I meant camp was good, man. New coaching staff, as y'all know,
Right.
as you know. But man, I really like the coaching staff. They right to the point. They keep it
Yeah.
they keep it real with you, and tough coaching. I say like military coaching, but besides that, man, they're real cool. I love the coaching staff, and great guys get to know you, and they just want the best out of you, and they're gonna push you to your maximum potential.
Yeah. How's that work in the league? Because like the famous Rutgers guy Shiano, like he struggled when he got to the NFL with some of that militaristic style. Like was there pushback from that, or guys bought into it?
I mean, a lot of guys buy into it. I mean, if you shy away from it, I mean, I guess it's like that's not the type of coach you want, or you just don't want to be great. I guess I don't know.
Right.
I like that type of stuff because it's like, I mean, all he wants is the best from you. You know, he's gonna push you to be beyond your limits just for you to be great. And if you're not trying to push me to be great, then what are we doing? You know what I mean? Like,
1,000%. Yo, that gave me goosebumps when you just said that.
Exactly,
That's amazing.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I won't settle for mediocre. And I think that's what the coaches are definitely doing for us, and just continue to push us until our breaking point. And if you don't break, I mean that speaks volume.
Mm-hmm. That's what it takes, bro. That's really cool. That's really cool. So the more I was doing like research on you, the more I was just studying your film, studying your story. Like your story is amazing. I don't want to give too much away. You've always been undersized, always been overlooked, yet you've always exceeded expectations. Can you take me from like square one through Texas Tech to where you are now and just kind of talk to me about how it unfolded in your eyes?
Oh, man. I'll say I've always been undersized receiver. Actually, when I was in high school, I actually turned down Texas Tech like 8 times. Like, I was
really?
Like, nah. Yeah, I was like, man, no, I don't want to go there. Like, because it was like they already had a slot receiver at the time, and I was like, man, come on, man, it's like too many people. I mean, you already got your guy. Like, what else you need me for? And
right.
So, but then they said he decommitted or something like that, and I was like, all right, I'll go. Like let's take the visit. Let me see how it is. And I went down there, fell in love with it, man. And the rest was history. And then he ended up being there. And so I love to compete. I was like, you know what? Let's do it. And so I ended up winning the job. I actually started off on kickoff return like we did now. Like I started in the league. So I feel like history repeats itself.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Man, and then like I was just like at Texas Tech, I was just begging the coach because he was scared to put me back there on kickoff return at first because I was a freshman. I was like, Coach, I promise you, if you put me back there on the first time I'm running it back, and I ended up running it back against Baylor.
Let's go.
Yeah, the first time I was ever back there, and then we had a bowl game like a couple weeks later, and I ran the kickoff return back again.
Hell yeah,
man! It just basically opened up the door for the coaches to be like, oh man, I can use him on offense. Like he's showing out on special teams. Let me do this and use him on offense. And that's all I wanted to do. I just wanted to get my foot in the door to let them know that I could play receiver too. And so whenever I got to play receiver, man, I just maximize all the things that they gave me. I'm like, man, you know what? I'm gonna go out here and just show these boys like size don't mean nothing. Like I can do whatever. Like no matter who you put on me, no matter what corner it is, it's all about fundamentals, footwork, all that stuff when it comes down to it. Because I mean, it doesn't matter. And so I've killed so many DBs that been drafted and higher rounds than me, but shout out to my boy Jamal Adams though. He can tell you like I've been playing we played against each other since high school. So and we played against each other high school, college, and I play him twice a year. And he can tell you he can tell you all I need is that opportunity. And so if I can get the balls just as 80 receptions a season, man, I tell you, easy to be an all-pro and all and Pro Bowler, all this stuff, man.
Right.
That's easy. That's easy work. But I mean, I've always had this chip on my shoulder since I guess since I've been playing, because I've always been the shortest guy, so I've always had something to prove. With that being said, I always tell like the coaches, there's nothing a tall receiver can do that I can't do. If you want me to catch a jump ball, I've done that. If you want me to, run past somebody, if you want me to run somebody over, anything a top receiver can do, I can do. So I tell them, like, don't put any limitations on me, because there's not one limitation you can put on me that I can't do.
Absolutely. And that's so real. And that was powerful. A lot of people in the comments were like, "Oh, this is powerful stuff."
Yeah.
Like that was real. And it was cool. Like, we had Taylor Gabriel on, I think the third episode, and like people are like, yeah. And a lot of guys really, like, we have so many young receivers that follow the page and like are really loyal to this page. And a lot of the guys are shorter receivers. So they take to you guys heavy because they look up to you and they're like, "Yo, I see myself in you." So, like, what advice, I guess, do you have? Like, you talked about how it's all about fundamentals, which is what I believe in. Like, I guess, what advice do you have for the guys that are trying to overcome, like, size or whatever? Like, how did you do that?
What I basically did was, set myself I stayed working, I stayed grinding, I always want to separate myself from the rest of the pack. Whether the receiver is he's looked at like better than I am, or looked at more to the coaches because he's bigger or anything like that. Like, well, I already had the speed on him, but I knew that, with my speed, I had to be able to, get it in and out of breaks, be able to release at the line and stuff like that and things like that. And so as an undersized receiver, playing outside receiver, playing inside, the main thing cornerbacks or DBs are going to do is want to get their hands on you, because they feel like, once you get your hands on the smaller receiver, they're done for. And I feel like, man, that's all a myth. I feel like you gotta go in, hone in on your craft. Like, you gotta go in there and work on your releases, work on the top of the routes, work on getting in and out of the breaks, because as it's hard to cover guys like us, shifty guys like us, because if you do slant routes, an in and out route, whip route, returns, it's hard, because they don't know if, like, okay, if I press them, I know I got to get my hands on them, because if I don't, then I could get killed for a deep ball. As you can see, like, my boy, Big Bro, shout out to Big Bro Taylor Gabriel, you can see him, like, killing guys with a release on the deep ball. Yeah. They don't get their hands on them, or even if they do, the hand-to-hand combat is crucial, and especially in the league, you got to continue to work your hands and continue to fight, because there's no DB just gonna let you run right by him. And so what I had to do, like, me learning, I had all the speed and all the, gimmicks and all the extra stuff, the perks to come with, the thing. But as I got to the NFL, I had to learn how to, be able to make it look like you're running 100%, so that you can get out of your breaks at top speed.
Exactly. So talk to me more about that. Like, because I think it's the hardest thing for young receivers to grasp is, like, I tell them all the time, like, your body language needs to sell vertical, even if your speed isn't, right? Like, you can run at 88%, but your body better sell it you're running 100. So talk to me more about that, the art of that.
And without a doubt, like, what I do, I teach Coach Jefferson, shout out to Coach Jefferson. He said, make every route look like a go route, and that's going to kill the DB. And so, and I learned that from him, and it works. It works 100%. And so, no matter if I'm running a 6-yard hitch, like, I'm coming off the ball like I'm going on a go route every single time. Eyes on the DB the whole time. I already know exactly where I want to go or what to do. And so
something I say all the time is everything's a fade until it's not.
Exactly. And so you definitely want to a DB, it's smart DBs. They can see if you easing up or coming out of, or you standing up you standing up right before you about to break. I'm telling you that, like, DBs are smart. They key on that easy. And so I feel like attack the DB just like we were saying, just like you're going on a go route every single time. If you can get on his toes and just make him feel that deep threat pressure, is going to get the DB all out of whack, and he's going to open up his hips and run. And I feel like, if the DB is already knowing exactly what he can't do, And I feel like I use that I take that and use that to the advantage. Like, if I know that the DB can't run with me, I'm coming off the ball on fire. Like, my eyes are dead on you. Like, you don't know exactly where I'm going. I know exactly what I got, and I'm coming at you. And so,
right.
And the thing is, it's like, make it look like you're going full speed. Just, you don't even have to be running full speed.
Open your stride up, keep your pads low.
Open the stride up, keep your pads low, and then as soon as you get to your breaking point, that's when you want to make it full speed. In and out of your breaks is that's what the separation is about. And it's not about, he can be right on your hip, but if you kill him at the top of the route, the separation could be
100%.
100%, like big separation. Like, you always want to make sure your footwork is better than his. It doesn't matter if, I would say, like, it's been a couple of times where I've been jammed at the line, but my footwork has gotten me open. And so it's all about, don't get frustrated. Don't try to rush it because you didn't get a good release. Just keep going. Stand with the task. Stand on the same page. Stand with your game plan, and just go at the top of the route and know that your feet is better than his. And so, and I feel like, make it seem like you're going full speed.
And you have the advantage because you know where you're going and he doesn't. So you can start getting in and out before he can even react. You just got to be efficient in that break area.
Exactly. You just got to be very efficient in that break area. Arms pumping. So head, shoulders over toes, everything. Because if you lean back, that's not good. Trust me. I play in South Florida. I've leaned back plenty of times, and grass is flying up under me. You never don't want to lean back.
Absolutely. So what are you working on now as far as like receiver craft? Like what part of your games are you focusing on that you're trying to improve on?
Basically, I wouldn't say the hardest route, but it's definitely hard is running deep comebacks. Because deep comebacks is, you have to sell it and you have to get running. And it's kind of like, it's not full speed, but almost full speed. Like those 20-yard comebacks on like, let's say a naked right or naked leg or any type of bootleg or something like that. Those deep routes, you want to get the DB running, because anything past 15 yards, the DB automatically thinks it's a go.
100%.
So, therefore, you have to be efficient in that break area, because that's a long route. Route. Any type of long route, any type of routes that's past 15 yards is everything that I'm working on, because once I get past 15 yards, now I'm actually getting open and I'm running. Like, I'm actually.
But also for you, I'm sure you're at like your top end speed, so it's even harder for you to get out of your break at that point.
And so now what I'm doing is just learning what type of pace, what type of speed I need to be at to give them the illusion that I'm still running the deep ball, but also be efficient in the breaking area. And I feel like, because at 5 yards, I can be almost at top speed. So with me, I have to be able to be under control. That's the thing about being a short and fast and quick twitch receiver. You have to be under control, because if you're not under control, you're all out of whack. You can slip. You can take too many steps in the break area, and the DB's all over it.
That's exactly what Taylor Gabriel said too. He's like, my biggest struggle coming into the league was I was too fast in all my games. I had to learn how to slow down.
Man, a lot of like Coach Jefferson was telling, a lot of people when I was growing up was telling me, Jakeem, just run fast, run fast, run fast, run fast. And I get to the lead and they tell me, you got to slow down. I'm like, okay. My whole life I've been telling them, go fast, go fast, go fast. And then when I get to the lead, it's like, slow down. And so it took me a while to learn that, because like, it's like I'm doing everything at fast pace, and I've been doing it my whole life at fast pace and running full speed, without a doubt. And it's just like, now people tell me to be slower. I'm like, man, I can't do that. Like, what do you want me to do? You want me to be slower? Like, so, but it definitely works. I also like got with Taylor Gabriel, and picked off his brain, because he's been in the league longer than me, and his routes is smooth and efficient. And I always tell him like I'm running better routes than you now. Like,
I love that.
I'm running better routes than you now. Like,
I'm gonna talk junk to him, because I talk to him all the time.
I'm in and out of breaks much faster than you is now. Like, Like I told him, like just like I did in high school, I'm breaking every record that you have. I'm breaking it just like I did in high school. So get ready for it.
Hell yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. Talk to me about catching the ball. Like I highlighted that when you lost old boy Malcolm Butler against the Pats.
Oh,
Talk to me about like making those contested jump balls as a shorter receiver. Like, are there different mechanics for that, or what goes into that, kind of making up for your size?
I would say I'm gonna pick off of just catching the ball in general as a short receiver, as just a quick twitch guy, and anybody that's just love that can make people miss in space. I feel like anybody that can make people miss in space. Our biggest habit is just grabbing the ball without even looking at it and looking to make people miss just like that. And I feel like sometimes that really gets us in trouble. That got me in trouble a lot when I first came into the league, because like I'm ready to make somebody miss before I even got the ball in my hands. That's the only time that we're going to drop it is whenever we're not eyes all the way into the tuck. And I remember standing out to practice with Juice, with Jarvis Landry, and he's like, bro, you got great hands. You just got to look it all the way in. And I'm like, bro, it's like, he was like, you trying to make people miss before you even got the ball. And he was just telling me, like, you know what you're gonna do when you get the ball, so just focus on getting the ball first. And so I had to really hone in on that, like, and just every ball that I catch is like all the way in, making sure I got it all the way in. I know it's like day one fundamental basics, but
this isn't fancy. Like, people think this needs to be fancy and complicated. Like, the fundamental stuff works, man.
Exactly. And you got to go back to that stuff, especially like if you haven't, you having a game where you already dropped the ball, you got to go back to the basics and all the way in. And start to get your mojo back. And I feel like, as all I was thinking about, well, let's fast forward to the catch on Malcolm. All I was thinking about is, I had an out route, originally an out route. And Jay Cutler, he told me, if the guy's playing like 5 to 7 yards off of you, just run by him. And I was like, all right, cool. I mean, that's say no more. And so I look, he checked me a route, and I was looking. I was like, okay. And so I just ran right by him, just on the go route. And all I was thinking about is like, I know I can jump, just eyes. The only thing I was thinking about is eyes.
Wow.
Just
interesting.
make sure I catch it. Just that's
interesting.
And so I knew that I knew that for a fact that I could jump. And so I knew that, and a lot of DBs don't think I can jump. And so I was like, this is going to be a surprise to them.
Yeah.
And so, and all I was thinking about the whole time was like, catch the ball, like look at the ball, look at the ball, look at the ball, look at the ball. That's the only thing I was thinking about is the whole time. And so, and I made sure I secured the catch, and I even tucked it and fell right on. Like, I didn't care how I felt, as long as I had the ball in my hand.
Yeah.
So I think that's the biggest key is just watching the ball.
Do you have any drills you suggest, or was it just being more mindful of it in practice every day?
Mindful drills as well. I usually do where it's tennis balls, catching jugs, where it's like where it's like I'm working on routes and the guy's shooting a jug, and it's telling me like turn, like it's a guy telling you like turn, like hit and turn jug, and it's like ball right there, ball right there, ball right there. And it's other times there's where I'm sitting down on the ground and they're throwing and the guy's standing behind me, and he's throwing tennis balls at the wall, and I'm catching the tennis ball. And just looking with my eyes.
And I love tennis balls because it forces you to focus your eyes on the smaller target. Definitely. So like it's all that training. And it's definitely and we usually do it like just for competition wise, but when you do it for competition wise, you're not noticing that. Like you're working on your craft. You're looking it in, because it's at the end of the day, it all comes down to everybody's competing. And so you're competing and continue to, like, now you get into the game and you're not even thinking about it. You're like, oh, looking it all the way in, looking it all the way in. And so I definitely work on that all the time. You like a coach told me once, you can never catch too many balls. So
And I feel like, you know, anytime I can, I try to catch balls and I go in and catch balls. It doesn't matter what it is, punt returns, just regular passes, like just coming off the jugs, just continue to catch. There's no limit to, like, I know some people ask you, how many do you catch? Like, I catch as many as to where I feel like, okay, I caught enough balls. It's not I go out there like, oh, I'm going to catch 100 balls. I feel that, you know, I'm looking it all the way in and I'm making sure that the ball is secure and stuff like that.
So how does that change now in the return game? Like as a kick returner or punt returner, the process of catching those balls, how is that different?
Oh, it's definitely a big difference. Actually, man, my first time. Actually, let's talk. My first time doing it was, I never did punt return ever in my life. So people are like, man, how you do this? How you do this? I never did punt return until I got to the league, which was the hardest thing I've ever done.
That's crazy.
Yes, the hardest thing I've ever done as football wise, and I feel like, I feel like I could do it. Like I knew I could do it, but it's hard. Like your head is at basically a 90-degree angle, looking up in the sky. Like the ball is probably higher than most buildings that you go into. like just being honest. Like the ball's in there probably like some kickers are great some punters are great punters, can hang the ball up there for 5 seconds, which is unbelievable. And so it's, man, you really got to focus in. You honestly have to focus all the way in on the ball, especially on punt return, because it's coming down hard and it's coming down faster than it went up. And so therefore it's like you have to not think about, oh, who's coming, oh, if the blocking is holding up. You have to basically just focus on that ball, because if you don't focus, if you're thinking about other things, then that ball you're going to drop it. Because I've had multiple drops when I was a rookie. I'm telling you, like, I had a drop that almost cost us the game against San Diego before they was LA Chargers. Man, it was crazy. Like, and that was my rookie season. Like I told you, that was the hardest thing I've ever had. And it was at the big stage. So I'm like, man, come on, man. I didn't even get a chance to go against a college punter yet. So I'm going against NFL punter. So man, I didn't like the feeling of dropping the ball. And so what I did was on our off days, on like Tuesdays, I just went in, grabbed my helmet, and just caught as many balls as I could until I was just like, you know what, I got it down. I got it down a little bit, because like you said, you never got it. And so what I do is I continue to just catch it and try to perfect my craft and just try to hone in on the ball and just focusing on the ball every single time I catch it, because it's like soon as it's not like catching a pass. I promise you, there's a lot of people like, if you can catch a football, you can catch a punt. Yeah, no, it's not like that. Trust me, it's not. And it's like people say, if you're a punt returner, like a lot of people told me, like, if you're a punt returner in the league, you have to be like fucking insane. And without a doubt, I feel like you are, because you definitely like it's times where I'm like, it was a time where I didn't fair catch. I was like, I don't care what's going on. I told coach, like, I'm not fair catching at this time, and that was the risk I took. Like, I caught it in between like the middle of a crowd, and I got hit hard. And he was like, Jakeem, you good? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. It didn't hurt. It just sounded bad. And I'm like, man, I was like, coach, I told you I wasn't fair catching it. I wanted to return it. So. Man, it's things like that. Like, man, the punt return, it definitely, you have to like, without a doubt, look the ball all the way in. Not like it can slip right through easy.
And it's so cool hearing how you mastered it. Is basically just through an accumulation of reps. And I get questions all the time, like, coach, how do I improve this? How do I improve that? Like I'm going to give them some magical drill that's going to change it. But like, kids understand, like, it's just, you got to just put the work in and get those reps and master it over and over and over.
And I feel like Coach Riz told me, he said, reps build confidence. And so I was like, man, that's powerful, because I never thought of it that way. And so as I continue to get reps and reps and reps and reps and reps. So now I'm going into the game, and I'm not even thinking about even dropping it. I'm just like, okay, this is what I got to do. Okay, I know what type of punter I'm going to get against, a lefty punter or a righty punter, what he likes to do, and this things. And so now I'm getting into the game, and I'm just catching the ball, just not even thinking about it, because the reps, it's just
That's
repetition.
amazing. That is powerful, man. It really is.
Man, I continue to do it every day. Like, I don't like any drops, matter of fact. So
yeah. So I want to get into a little bit of film study on special teams, what you're looking for, but talk to me, is there a difference between like a kickoff and a punt return? Like, how does your mindset change? Is catching the ball different? Is your plan different? Like, talk to me about those differences a little bit.
Yeah, definitely a difference for me. I feel like you have to think about on punt return, you have to think about is the gunners single or double, depending on your time. So you have all these things. You get out there, you get a pre-snap. Okay, let me think. Okay, let me see. Is the gunner single or double, or is he like a slouch or whatever, or do you know that your jammer is going to cover him, or you just plan out all the situations, all the matchups and stuff like that? Because I know that for an example, I know, like, I got Walt on the other side as being a gunner.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, if he punted over here to Walt's side, I have time. And and I know that Walt's going to get the job done on a single. And so I know that in a vice, if they double vice the gunner, I know I have plenty of time. And I know the only people that can get to me are the guys in the core. And so,
interesting.
And I'm like, okay, I have plenty of time no matter what. I'm not going to fair catch it unless it's just a god-awful punt. But I always go out there, and a lot of people just if you could tell you, it could tell you what you're doing or what you need to do by the pre-snap. If you just go out there and it's basically just the same thing on offense, is understanding the defense, and just get out there on the pre-snap, get lined up fast, and identify what
indicators and tendencies and everything,
and check and see what's going on. And so on kickoff return, everything is right at you. It's basically like giving you the answers, like, to the test, like, and it's just like the kicker's going, they have no choice but to kick it straight to you, or they can kick it over your head or anything like that. So but it's going to the kickoff return is just, it's plain and simple. It's just they kick the ball and all 11 guys run down.
Right. And your scheme, you're trying to get to a certain spot, and the blocking needs to hold up.
And I just like, to me personally, I like punt return better, because, like, I feel like on kickoff return, like, one guy can mess up the whole kickoff return. One missed block can mess up the whole kickoff return. And so it could take a kickoff return, it could take a middle return and make you bounce outside. Now it's like you're tackled on the 18 or something like that. Yeah. And so, but man, punt return is like one guy can miss his block and you can still get a 20-yard or 15-yard gain off of, just a guy missing his block. Or
just from you being special or someone else making up for it. Like,
Exactly.
Yeah. How ballsy, so you said you don't like to fair catch. How ballsy do you get running out of the end zone? Is that like, do coaches restrict you more with that, or do you have freedom if it's like 8 yards deep to go take that?
The coach, depending on how I catch it. If the coach see in the hang time of the ball, and everything plays into it, weather condition, all that stuff. And the coach is definitely like, okay, Jakeem, you got free range, just like Steph Curry get to shoot all the time.
Yeah,
it's like if you catch the ball going forward, like Riz coached me, I will never have a problem with you catching the ball going forward and wanting to bring the ball out the end zone. Just be smart. You got it, and you know exactly what to do. And so, if I could tell that the kicker didn't get a good approach, or didn't get to hit it, and it's like 5 yards deep, but it's not good of a hang time, I'm bringing it out. Even if it's like 8 or 9 yards, I'm gonna bring it out, depending on the hang time or
makes sense.
Or anything like that. And so usually they give me the green light on what I want to do. Is just like, Jakeem, all right, be smart. We're trusting you. If you don't do this, then I get chewed out, and sometimes I'm willing to take that risk. Like, all right, coach, I'm willing to take that risk. Like,
I just because you think you're special and can change the game in one play, and
like, especially when when the game is like it's going slow, we're not getting things moving on offense. I'm trying to be that spark. I'm trying to do something. And so I'm like, I tell her, I go out before we even break the huddle. I'm bringing it out no matter what. So yeah. And
I'm sure that hypes everybody else up. They're like, yo, let's get this done now.
Exactly. And so, man, it's just about the approach and
that's cool.
And so
that's dope.
Everything play into it.
How does your preparation during the week change? Like, I guess when you got to the league, now you start adding all these special teams responsibilities, but then you're also trying to prove yourself as a receiver. So, like, does film study change? Does, like, your practice habits change? Like, what is the week like in preparation getting ready for all that?
I usually study them. I study them separately with me.
Okay.
I study the offense because the offense I have to learn. It's a new coaching staff. Like, what plays into that. You got a new offense. And so I usually study the offense first because it's more to know on the offense, and you have to know all the plays, every position, know exactly what all the concepts are, and everything that everybody is doing, every moving part. And so, man, I study that day in and day out. Like, I study it as soon as we get out of practice, I study it, and for however long. I like I said, I don't put time limits on like basically anything. I just say, all right, I'm gonna study it until I'm like, okay, that's a good enough study. And then right before I get ready to lay my head down and go to sleep, I study again. And so I just break it up. I break it up and just like I always study right before I go to sleep. Always. I always study.
That's cool.
I always study twice after practice because it's like if you know exactly what you have and what the other person have and understanding the concepts and the roles of the offense, then you're gonna kill it without a doubt. And so
and you can play fast if you know what you're doing. You don't have to think
no hesitation, no thinking, no nothing. And so that's gonna let you be who you are. And so and I also study. Once I'm done studying offense, I go to special teams. I study kickoff return, and I basically study the kicker, the punter, study their approach. I study like big triangle, little triangle, all this stuff. Like I study the hang time of the punter. I study where does he like kicking it. I even go back to last year how he kicked and anything like that. Like I study all of it, like from the recent games he had, from the old games, and just understanding how he kicks, how he line up, how he pre-snap a line, how the gunners are. Like I play everything. Like I'm studying everything because I want to have the answers to the test. I want to get out there and be like, I don't want to get out there in the game and be like, man, did I study enough? Like I don't want to have that on my mind. Like I want to know exactly what's going on or what type of defense they're running. And right now we're playing against our own defense, so I'm going out there and I'm studying. Not just me, but the guys that are around me and like my teammates and stuff like that, and just thinking about like, okay, this DB played this way on him. What should I do if I was in his position?
Yes, absolutely.
So, man, I just feel like the preparation it elevates whenever you're in the league because you always want to have that edge on your defender or the person that's going.
And you can't rely on physical talent anymore in the league. Like everybody's talented, so the only way to separate yourself is all those little details.
Everybody. Yes, is your talent going to win? Sometimes, yes, but most of the time it's going to be fundamental details and all that stuff because at this level, everybody is talented. There's no, oh man, my talent is just going to take place and all this and man, you'll be in and out the league quick if you
no doubt.
That, without a doubt.
No doubt.
Without a doubt.
Man. I got one last question for you. It's been 35 minutes. I feel like we've only been talking for 10 minutes. This has been incredible, bro.
All day. I'm cool, man.
This has been incredible, man. So one thing we've asked everybody is what's your pregame routine like, and do you have any superstitions?
I don't typically believe in like the superstitious thing. I always used to I did in college, like I always used to like go get stretched out, get worked on, and then like after that, like people thought I was crazy. Like I get ready and I sit in my locker with my headphones on, just listening to music, and then I'll fall asleep. And then they'll be like, Jakeem, it's time to go. And then like they'll be like, Jakeem, you ready? I'm like, man, when I woke up this morning, I was ready. Like
right.
And then I'm like, let's go, like let's do it. So like I just feel like
you would fall asleep right before the game.
I used to fall asleep right before the game, and then like, and it's like I did that because I felt like it cleared my mind of everything. Like it was just like just taking a breath, because when you wake up, you're not thinking about nothing. If you think about it, like when you wake up in the morning and everything, like hitting your alarm clock, you just like, all right, I'm hitting my alarm clock, and then like you're not thinking about nothing. You're just going through the same routine that you go through every morning. And so, and I felt like that was what I always did it. Like it's been times like when like my teammates like, come on, Jakeem, wake up, like we got a game to play. I was like, man, I'm good, like I'm ready to go. Like I was like, whenever I woke up this morning, my mind was already made up. Like I'm gonna go out there and give it my all. I'm gonna kill it today. And so man, it just I don't believe in like the pregame, like any type of superstitions, but I do like to like sometimes I pull out my playbook and look through it. It just go over just like new plays, you have for the game, and you get that new install, and you install plays that's new that week, and so I look over
just make sure those are fresh. There's always those wrinkles each week that are brand new,
fresh, and and man, I just like just chill. Like sometimes I have my headphones on, listen to my own music, but I like to.
What type of music?
I like, man, it doesn't matter to me. Any type of music. Like some people ask me, like I was listening to Rascal Flatts before the game one time, and people were like, bro, how? Like there's no way. I'm like, bro. I was telling them like the music. I was like, listen to me. Like I was telling them like the music not going to determine if I'm going to go out there and if I have enough energy to get this game or go out there and do what I got to do. I was like telling them like, bro, my mind was already made up when I woke up. I'm like getting dressed and getting ready to go to the stadium. Like I'm already hyped because we got a game. Like
we got a game. Yeah, you only get so many of these game days, Like
you only get so many. So I'm like I don't know. My mindset is different. Like. It's been plenty of times where I woke up out of bed and I'm like, shit, I don't want to do this today. But once, it's like once I got in the building, at practice or in the game, I'm like, man, it's time to go. Like I don't. It's money time. Like it's time to show out. It's time to show up and show out.
Yeah.
That's all I'm doing.
That's amazing. It's so easy to see why you've had the success you've had, man. Like it's such a mental game. Like you can just tell that you're determined. And the cool thing is it's obvious that you've figured out your own mental process, right? Like what works. Like you're not afraid to say, hey, yo, I need to take a nap before the game. Like for a lot of people, they'd be afraid of like what people thought of them or how their teammates or coaches would judge them. Like it's cool to see that. I really feel like you've figured out what makes you tick and you've stuck with that, and it's worked for you thus far, which is amazing, man.
And I feel like this game is really big on mental, like mentally really big, because I feel like a lot of athletes don't think about it or don't think it's all physical, but it's mentally, because mentally like we said, like it's about everybody have their next play mentality. Sometimes athletes get stuck on that one play. That's mental, and it's things could be off the field that's bothering you. That's mental and things like that. So man, it's just like once I a coach.
Do you have a process of blocking some of those things out? Like if there's distractions off the field, or like do you have any sort of process of talking to yourself the right way and getting your mind clear?
I didn't. I remember I used to talk to the coaches and stuff. If something was bothering me, like I used to talk to Caleb Thornhill, one of the player engagement guys, coaches at our facility. I used to talk to him, and I used to tell him like, man, this is bothering me, this and that, and I tell him that, and I'm like, and he was like, if the man off the field is not right, the player on the field is not going to be right either. And so, like, I talk to him and things and stuff, like, get stuff off my chest and stuff like that. And a lot of athletes, like man, I'm good. Like, I'm an athlete. I can figure this out. But like having that person that you can talk to and stuff that helps you get through like things that's bothering you mentally and things that don't even relate to football. And so sometimes it's just saying like being okay with asking for help or showing just a little bit of like, I wouldn't say like weakness, but just being able to just open up and talk to somebody. Because as men, you're like, man, like we're not emotional, we rough and tough, we this and that, and like we just like straight to it, like that's it. Yeah. So, but you always got to have that person that you can talk to and just bounce things off of and get things off your chest, and so that you can be a better player. And so,
absolutely,
man, I basically, he always told me that whenever you come into this building, I know that there's things that's bothering you outside of this building, but let this be the football building. Let this be your like sanctuary from you to get away from for a little bit. And so I'm like, man, that's like I like that. So this is my time to get away from it. Like everything that's in this building it doesn't have nothing to do with the outside work, whatever I have going on. And so now I'm focused on football, and I'm going to maximize whatever I have to do inside this building and on that field. And so
that's amazing.
I used to talk to Karu, Leonte. I used to talk to Karu, like, man, bro, this is bothering me, this and that, this. And he was like, all right, bro, like he'd be there to talk to me. Like we can talk for hours and stuff. So
I could imagine, man. Like he's a real one, bro. For real.
I want to put my clothes.
Go put your clothes on, son.
That's amazing, yo.
Yeah. And so, but man, it's been a great process, man. It's been everything I dreamed of and plus more, man. And thing is about it, like I ask people a lot. I ask people, like I asked Albert and all those guys today. I asked them like if you could be an animal, if you could be an animal, mammal, no matter what would you be? Like,
okay, I like that.
Like, what would you be, Coach? Like, you tell me, like, what if you had to pick anything? What would you be?
I feel like the first thing that popped in my head is a lion.
Okay, and see,
because
tell me
anyway,
behind that.
I just feel like I've always kind of viewed myself as like a leader, like that's part of being a coach, like starting this platform is like someone that can kind of like command a room and uplift people and like lead the charge. And that's kind of that's kind of like the depiction you get of a lion. That's the first thing that popped in my head.
Okay. And so with me, I told people, and people automatically think like, Jakeem, you want to be a cheetah, huh? I was like, nah, man, I don't want to be a cheetah. Go put your clothes on, son. And I was like, I don't want to be a cheetah. I want to be a Junior. Put your clothes on, man. And then I was like, I want to be an alligator. And people are like, alligator? Why alligator? Because if you think about it, an alligator is always hungry. Anything that comes in his path, anything you throw in that water, he's gonna eat. And as you can see, like whenever an alligator like steps on the scene or anything like that, or is walking across a field or grass or anyway, people stop and they're like, all right, we're not gonna mess with that alligator, like nothing. I'm let it be, let him cross the path, and I feel like an alligator is never complacent because he's like, if whatever you put in this water is mine.
Yes. And always hungry,
always looking for that next meal. And I feel like that really represents me because after I'm finished climbing one mountain, I'm looking to climb the next mountain. And I'm like, you know what? I don't want to settle here because I feel like I can go higher. You know what I mean?
That's so real, yo. I love that. And I love how much you thought about that
man,
too.
I thought
That's
about that
really
a lot. Like a lot of people ask me that, and so I'm like, man, like what really describes me? Like I'm always hungry. I'm always looking to be better. I'm always looking to eat, and so I'm like, man, I definitely want to be an alligator, always constantly eating. Like no matter what,
Yo, that's amazing.
If you put something in that water, no matter what, that alligator is coming up out of the water, is looking to grab whatever it is. It doesn't matter what it is, like they're ready to eat at all times.
Yeah. Yo, that was awesome. We got to end it with that because that was epic. Yo, that was epic, man. For real, bro. I can't thank you enough, bro. We definitely got to do this again soon because we could have gone for 3-4 hours.
Let's do it, man.
Yeah, let's do it, man. We'll be in touch on the gram, but keep working. It was a really blessing to talk to you, and can't wait to do this again, man.
Okay,
for real.
Appreciate it, man.
All right, Jakeem. I appreciate you, bro. I'll talk to you soon. All right, later.